Hi, and welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. Today I'm making chicken satay sliders. Recently, I went through a bunch of old recipes that I had cut out from magazines because I just wanted to change things up a little bit for dinner. And I came across these chicken satay sliders. They were from Rachael Ray magazine, and I kind of cross-referenced this recipe with some other ones I found online, and I wanted to share with you what I created. First of all, my grocery store was out of ground chicken, so I had to substitute lean ground turkey, but they taste very similar. There was actually a leaner kind of ground turkey at my grocery store, but you want a little bit of fat so that the burgers aren't too dry. Next, I'm showing you I always keep some frozen pieces of bread, like the heels of my loaves of white bread, in the freezer in case I need them, whether it be for a French toast casserole or in this case for homemade breadcrumbs. So I always like to add a little bit of breadcrumbs into turkey or chicken burgers just to help bind them together. And I didn't want to use any Italian seasoned breadcrumbs, and I didn't have any plain breadcrumbs on hand, so I made my own. And I only needed 1 or 2 slices of bread to make the couple tablespoons that I needed. Next, I'm chopping up a bunch of veggies. Some are going to go into my burger patties, and then the others will go on top. So the green onions and garlic go into the burgers, and then here I'm chopping up some fresh cilantro and basil to sprinkle over the top. You could also use fresh mint if you have it. And then lastly, I'm using my vegetable peeler to make these beautiful ribbons of carrots and cucumbers that are also going to go on top of my burgers. For the burger patties, I placed my turkey into a large mixing bowl, and I added in a teaspoon of ground ginger. You could also use some grated fresh ginger. Unfortunately, my store hasn't carried that for a while, but if you can find it, use it, because of course that has even better flavor. And then I'm adding in those chopped up green onions. I think I did about 3 or 4, and then I'm adding 2 cloves of the minced garlic into the meat mixture as well. I am reserving 1 clove of chopped up garlic for the peanut sauce that's going to go on top of these burgers. Next, I added in a couple tablespoons of those fresh breadcrumbs, along with a sprinkling of salt and pepper and about a tablespoon of soy sauce. And then I'm mixing this all together by hand. This recipe calls for about 1.5 pounds of ground chicken or ground turkey. And just so you know, I was using a little bit more meat because I have 6 people in my family, but I'll leave the full recipe in the description box below. I decided to make these burgers into sliders, so I hand formed them into slightly smaller patties. I chose brioche dinner rolls as the buns, so these burgers fit perfectly on top of those size rolls. Next up, I added a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil into a skillet that was preheated over about medium-high heat. And then I cooked my burgers on both sides until they were nice and golden brown and cooked all the way through. That's very important when you have a poultry-based burger. You can't have a medium rare turkey burger. It has to be well done. If you have a meat thermometer, the burgers should be at an internal temperature of at least 165 degrees. Next, I'm making a creamy and delicious peanut satay sauce that I'll spread all over the burger buns. So this starts with 1/2 cup of crunchy peanut butter in my glass measuring cup, and to that I'm adding 3 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. To that, I'm adding a pinch of red pepper flakes. This is optional, but it is nice to have that little spicy kick in the background. I'm also adding my reserved clove of garlic that I minced finely. And then to thin this out a little bit, I'm using some coconut creamer. Now you don't have to use this specifically. You could use apple juice or pineapple juice or some coconut milk. But I didn't have any of those things on hand, but I had bought this coconut cream from Aldi to use in a recipe, but I only needed about 2 tablespoons. So I've been trying to find other unique ways to incorporate this into my cooking, and I thought this was the perfect addition. So it gave this creamy coconut flavor. It also added a little bit of sweetness, but if you use regular unsweetened coconut milk, you could add in a little bit of brown sugar too for the sweetness. And then for some acidity, I used some fresh lime juice. So just the juice of 1/2 lime, and that that again helped to thin out the consistency and add a little tangy flavor in the background. While the burgers cooked, I prepped my brioche buns. So I just split these dinner rolls in half and then heated them up on my griddle with some melted butter until they were nice and toasty. Now it's time to assemble the burgers. I took a toasted brioche bun and topped it with some of the peanut satay sauce. Then I added one of my sliders along with some of the ribbons of carrots and cucumbers, a sprinkling of the fresh herbs, and then I put a little more peanut sauce on top. So we tried this burger as is, and it was very delicious. However, we felt like there was some sort of tangy, acidic component that was missing. So I decided to take some of my leftover cucumber ribbons and quick pickle them. So I put some in a bowl with just about a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar and then a pinch of sugar and salt. And I mixed these together and let them sit just for about 5 minutes. So I added these on top of another burger that I assembled, and this was the missing element. They were so incredible. They were still a little crunchy, but they gave this awesome tanginess to the burger that kind of cut through that creamy, rich peanut sauce and the meaty burger. It was the perfect combination. So I highly recommend you to take that extra step and pickle your cucumbers. You can even toss your carrot ribbons in there too if you'd like. Say hi.
Hi.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram at Anne's Family Recipe, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked what I made here today. Thank you so much for joining me here in my kitchen, and I'll see you again soon with another family recipe.